Okay, good morning, Deegan. I wanted to send you this video so you could make the broadcast and the sequence for the Embrace Your Darkness challenge for the last email. So, kind of what happened here is, long story short, I kind of set up the autoresponder before we had decided on a date. And long story short, I couldn't go back and change it to only get triggered on a certain date and start the sequence. So we've been kind of double layering sending out the emails. So we set it up in the sequence, and then we also sent a broadcast to the current list that wasn't triggered in the sequence yet. So that's going to be to anybody who signed up before March 8th. So I went ahead and created a list that we could send the broadcast to. So a broadcast is actually how you would send like a one-time newsletter. A sequence is a recurring autoresponder that you kind of, it's like a triggered email system versus a broadcast or a newsletter, which is this one-time deal that you actually like custom send out a newsletter, whatever you do with it. So I'll show you how to send out a broadcast, and you can really use this for any broadcast, but this is specific to making sure we grab the right list for Embrace Your Darkness. So obviously you go to email and marketing, you'll hit broadcasts. And then once you come to this page, you're going to see actually some of like the past broadcasts that we've sent. So the first thing you'll do is create a new broadcast. So I'm going to go ahead and open up that email just to give you an example. I'm not going to send it because there's going to be changes to it, but I want to kind of run over some of the details for you. So you can see how I change everything and space everything because One Shopping Cart is kind of weird. Oops, it's kind of doing this kind of weird. There it is. There's the, oh, whatever. Let me try this again, excuse me. There it is, the Embrace Your Darkness What Now email. So if I write any email, and Jordana will do this as well, making sure that the subject line, I'll make sure it stands out like that, so you know it's the subject line. So that'll be the first thing One Shopping Cart asks you. So who do we want to send it from? Jordana's style for every newsletter is Jordana Air at your whole, obviously I spelled it wrong, and then a line, which I don't know if you have a Mac or a regular computer, it's the shift button, and there's a slash. If you have trouble finding it, just let me know. The email is from Jordana at your whole. I know that we're rebranding soon, so obviously you'll change this to the new, not man-made, modern day sorcerer, modern day sorceress, whatever we decide on. But for now, that's what we use. And then the subject line is what I was talking about here. So I just usually copy and paste it. And then awesome, we can go on to the next page. So next part is the email itself. I just copy and paste the whole document. It's not going to copy and paste your bold, your spacing. So you kind of have to do that yourself. So I always go back to the document and look, okay, so what do I need to bold? Perfect. The spacing on this is really weird, so I always go back and delete it so it's not so spaced out. I also I just use those for bullets, but I would use the bullet button up here. And then just enter. So I'm just doing all the formatting stuff now, which I'm sure you get, so I don't need to explain every little bit. Erase these spaces, and then I'll explain a couple of other of the pieces that are going on here. So any time in an email you see name, that's going to be a trigger for you to know that you need to put a code in. So I don't know if you've ever done a newsletter in any newsletter system, but you want to go ahead and find what's called a merge code. And a merge code is literally like it will generate the name or whatever info you're putting in. Name itself is not a merge code. Each system is different, but the merge code for the first name in this CRM is it's percentage $ first name percentage $. So you don't have to memorize that. You'll just go up to merge data here and choose, if you wanted to say surprise URL, surprise country, you could also do that. Obviously we normally won't ever be doing that, but that is a good reference point of you can use any of this merge data to be generated, and it'll base the generated details on the specific contact that's already in this list. If that was confusing, just let me know. The other thing is, again, like down here, I created another merge code and name. I can highlight those if you prefer, just so you can make sure to notice them. Oops, that's what I was doing. So I want to go back up to first name, so it generates the code. Awesome, it's still bolded. So this text does show up really short, so I make sure to go ahead and make sure it's Arial, and we use 12 size font. Awesome, this looks good. The last thing that you'll notice is the click here to go watch a video. I put that in blue so you would get the signal that it's a link. You have yet to create the page, so of course I don't have the link here, but that's just to give you the signal that, hey, a link goes here, such as the link that I've already sent you instructions to create. To hyperlink to something, you would just take the URL, hit the chain button right here where it says insert edit link. Then you would go in here and put in the link, the URL, insert, and now it makes it a URL. I'm going to go ahead and detach it so it doesn't do the actual thing itself. And then you can save this as a draft. I usually don't because it'll automatically save it as a draft, but you can just in case you want to come back to it. So great, that's the newsletter and the the newsletter and all the information you need to create for formatting. Next part is going to be who you're sending it to. So there's a lot of different ways that you can choose who to search for. For any typical newsletter, you would always choose all contacts. Jordana will be specific for you, like when you send out a newsletter or a note, who she wants to send it to. Tags are a really good way to find specific lists or people that you're looking for. So as you'll see, like there's an RTS promo call list that we did. We did a free call. We did a focus group back in November. We did the Embrace Your Darkness challenge only. The pre-sequence ones, just ignore that one. This right here is the list that you're going to want to use for Embrace Your Darkness for the broadcast only. And I made sure these are all the people who signed up before the sequence was in place. Therefore, they didn't automatically sign up for the sequence. So for now, we're setting it up for these people, and in any other case for a newsletter, you'll have to ask Jordana who she specifically sends her newsletters to, because I don't do that. But in this case, for this challenge, we'll choose that, and then we'll hit next. We've been scheduling them. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. You're supposed to select and then hit the arrow to the right. I'm glad that happened so I could show you. So then you'll hit next. So the times that we've been sending this out are at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Here, it'll ask you to actually send it later before, well, we haven't gotten to that part yet. So when you get to this part, don't hit send. The first thing I want you to do is send a test. This will go automatically to your inbox if you're signed in under your own email or under your own 1ShoppingCart info, and that'll automatically generate an email in your inbox that's a test. It'll even say it in the info that it is a test. That'll kind of give you an opportunity to see what the email looks like. It'll let you make sure the spacing's okay. I always check all the links when I send a test to myself. And just making sure everything's working and all set up for you. That way, when you know it's going out to the emails, it's not anything crazy. So that should be pretty helpful. And then the last part is hitting send. You'll see that when you hit send, it'll automatically populate a pop-up window for you that says send now or send later. We'll be sending this later, and it'll automatically generate when you want to send it. This will be going out on Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern. So I'm actually going to delete this in the system so you can practice, but that's when you would set it up and get it all taken care of. As you can see, it's taken me a lot longer to explain this to you than it will be to actually do the newsletter. It usually takes me around 5 or 10 minutes, if that, after I test, make sure the links are working. You set the time, you hit send, and that's pretty much it. Then you have your newsletter and you're all scheduled and set up to go. So if you have any questions, just let me know and I'll get you all taken care of. Have a good day.